going to embrace this idea that we hear now as feminism. And I'm tired of this kind of Tumblr, 2015, 2016 perspective that feminism is really about women being better than men and yada, 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 and that there's only women can be feminists and blah, 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 blah. No, all right? None of that nonsense. Here's what feminism is. Feminism, quite clearly, is nothing more than a belief in the social, political, economic equality of the sexes, that men and women alike should be treated equally in those spheres of our world. That's it. That's all it means. And so why do they call it feminism? Because quite clearly men have the advantage still. So we call it feminism because it's women working to acquire this equality. That's the only reason it's called feminism. If the situation were on the reverse, if women had the advantage in the social sphere, the political sphere, and the economic sphere, we would call it meninism or maleism, because males would be working for the equality. The only reason it's called feminism is because women are in the disadvantaged position. Look, and if this concept itself is still too hard for you, look, just look at it like this. It's this radical idea that was proposed here by these two feminists, and you can see their names right down below, that that women are people equal of the same treatment as men. That's it. That's all feminism really is, right? And people will try and demonize feminism because they don't want to give up their power or their control. Like, check this out. This is from a conservative televangelist, a guy that gets on TV and talks about what he believes is right or wrong, what he believes is moral or immoral. And he says feminism is immoral. This is a direct quote. He says feminism encourages women to leave their husbands, kill their children, practice witchcraft, destroy capitalism, and become lesbians. Now, there's all kinds of things wrong with this quote. I mean, the amount wrong with this quote is astronomical. But the simple concept here is that people wouldn't talk this way about feminism if there wasn't a problem with the equality that we have in actually treating women as equals. People have problems with that, and so they lash out at the concept that they don't understand. So we're going to see JFK and Roosevelt's Commission on the Women look at this concept of feminism and say, you know what, we need to make changes. We need an equal pay so that says one sex can't be paid more than the other when it comes to a federal job. We need a Civil Rights Act, the one in 1964 that was comprehensive, that said you can't discriminate on race, color, religion, national origin, but also gender. It says that we need to treat everyone, regardless of gender, the same when it comes to work, and we need to do the same when it comes to Title IX, a law which was passed in 1972, an add-on to the Civil Rights Act, which talks about how you can't discriminate even in public education. We're going to see women begin to organize and male allies organize with them in groups like NOW, the National Organization for Women. We're going to see leaders emerge, like we saw with the Civil Rights Movement and Martin Luther King, when people like Gloria Steinem become one of the leading figures of the feminist movement as they kind of push for this treatment of equality for women and men politically, socially, and economically. And this kind of stuff, it's still here. It still takes on new and different forms. Like, for example, just recently, just this week, Bishop McDevitt kicked a girl out of prom because she was wearing a tux and not a dress. And they said that you can't be here. And this is an issue of, well, what's the big deal? She wears pants all the time to school every day. Why can't she wear them to the prom, right? I mean, and these are the issues that people struggle with as we try and define what feminism means in the modern era, right? Does feminism mean in the modern era one thing? Does it mean another? Or does it mean just truly, socially, politically, and morally treating people the same? What does it mean? So let's see kind of how this plays out in politics as we see the 1950s move into the 1960s in a little more detail. And I